This is an AI-generated podcast based on the article Building a Business for Good: How Tom Rector Leads Thumbprint with Purpose and Faith, written by Daniel Scher. The article link is in the show notes. Tom, welcome to Kingdom Factor Collective. Really glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Daniel. Really appreciate it.
So, 18 years. Thumbprint started in your living room. You were printing t-shirts and yard signs just to get through grad school. And now you're still in it, still scaling. What does that arc feel like from the inside?
You know, it's funny. I didn't have some grand vision when I started. I just had relationships from my time in government affairs, people who gave me a chance. That's honestly all I was asking for. And when grad school ended, I had this fork in the road. Use the degree or keep building. I chose the business. And somewhere in those 18 years, it took on a shape that reflects what I actually believe. Not just commercially, but, spiritually.
That's interesting. And I think that word shape is a good one because it sounds like the company kind of grew into your values rather than the values being bolted on later. You talk about first principles, do good and be happy. Can you unpack that? Because on the surface, it sounds almost too simple.
Right, and people hear that and think, okay, that's a bumper sticker, but I mean it with full seriousness. When we hit cash flow crunches, and we do, or a product ships to the wrong address, and it does, I come back to that. Am I doing good work? Am I happy while I'm doing it? If the answer is yes, I'm on the right track. It's a stabilizing force, It keeps the whole team from being derailed by every obstacle on the road to building something excellent.
I love that framing. And it ties into something else in your story that I really wanted to ask about, because principles are easy to hold when they're not tested. You had a situation a few years back where former employees left, joined the competitor, and started making claims that you say were simply untrue. That had to sting. What went through your mind?
Oh, the temptation to fight back was real. To set the record straight publicly, expose the behavior, I felt all of it. But I'd watched the political world long enough to recognize that pattern. The back and forth negative attacks that just drag everyone down. I didn't want to play that game. So we chose to take the high road. We chose to win on our own merits. We addressed concerns directly with customers and vendors, stayed focused on doing excellent work, and moved on. And it worked. It's a true testament that if you believe in yourself and you're standing on moral grounds, you will prevail.
That kind of restraint, that doesn't come from strategy, right? That comes from something deeper.
It really does. It comes from trusting that integrity gets rewarded. Maybe not immediately, maybe not in the way you expect, but it does. And I think our customers and vendors can see through falsehoods when you operate at a higher standard. That's what we banked on.
Okay, let's shift a little. You're CEO of a scaling company, you're serving on nonprofit boards, you've got family, relationships. How do you actually steward your own time and energy? Because I think a lot of leaders skip this part.
So here's what I've built into my day, and it sounds small, but it's not. I take a few moments to just center myself, breathe. And I found that when you do that, God has a way of giving you the direction you need, and it's never failed. And then there's the physical side. I was in a gym this morning before this conversation, not because I had extra time, I didn't, but because I've learned the hard way that one small hour can cost me 10 to 20 hours in the future if I get sick or run down. Does that make sense?
Completely. It's almost like an investment with a massive return. And you apply that same logic to relationships too, right? Marriage, family, even a golf trip.
Exactly. These are not rewards for finishing the work. The work never finishes. They have to be scheduled intentionally. If they aren't, they just disappear. And in 18 years, you watch your teammates get married, buy homes, have kids, and go through really hard seasons. And being a part of that, that's kind of the whole point. That's what a business built for good actually looks like on the ground.
Beautiful. Okay, last thing. For leaders who are early in integrating faith and business, what do you want them to hear?
I'd say this: don't let revenue be the only scoreboard. Most businesses get measured by how much they bring in, and that's a trap. There are other criteria. Your values shouldn't be wall art, they should be actual filters. Who you hire, who you take on as a client, what you're willing to say no to. And don't be so distracted chasing a customer who may not even be the right fit. Take the time to understand what your business is actually for, where you're providing real value, and stick to it. Because if you don't start it in that direction, it's going to take you so much longer to get where you want to be.
This has been a really rich conversation. The high road story, the first principles, centering yourself daily. There's a lot here for people to sit with. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Daniel. Really enjoyed it.
And for everyone listening, the full article is linked in the show notes. It's worth a read. We'll see you next time on Kingdom Factor Collective.